So shouts out to Jersey. He was a good dude, you could say then. You know what I'm saying?
My first celly was a good dude, man. I caught that blessing right there, man.
So then, how was it? You know, how long was y'all roommates?
Probably about 6-7 months.
And then what happened after that?
He went home. He finally made parole, and he went home. He went back to Jersey. I was in a cell maybe 2 weeks by myself, and then they brought this Caucasian dude in there. Yeah.
Caucasian dude. So I know on the internet, a lot of people think of like how it is in other places, like let's say like Cali, where like white people don't be in cell with black people and stuff like that. And in Virginia, I hear a lot of stories about white people being weird, or they being inferior in Virginia because they in Virginia prison system because they minorities. So how was that? Like how did that go about? You go from being in the cell with somebody who was essentially a good person, you know, in this type of environment, and then, you know, how long was it till you met this guy, like, you know?
I give it maybe about 2 weeks. They moved a Caucasian dude in my cell. His name was James. And when he came in, his vibe was completely off. Like, he was trying too hard to convince me that he was a average person. Like, you know, an average person don't try to convince you that he's average. He's just average, right? Like, you're normal. Like, you talk regular, you move regular. Nobody tripping here. He was one of them people that he tried too hard to try to convince me that, oh, he wasn't this or wasn't that. And what I mean by that, like, he wasn't a pedophile. He wasn't anything other than what we would deem something street.
Was James like more one of those white boys that was on some stuff like trying to be black, or was he like a regular white boy? Was that the type of thing you were saying? Like he was trying to convince you he was something else?
Yeah, James was funny, bro. James was the first person I ever been in a cell with that I didn't like. Like I just knew when I met him I didn't like him. His vibe was off. His disposition was off. His language was off. The way he looked was off. Everything was off. It just didn't add up. I'm like, what did you do wrong? Like, you had you're moving like you did something wrong, and you don't want me to know, but you think you're moving right. You know what I'm saying? So it was a thing like, bro, what did you do? You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's crazy because all of y'all did something wrong.
All of us did something wrong, but the way you mean it is like, the way you're moving is if whatever you did wrong was far worse than what we did. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I remember it was probably about 2 days of being in the cell. The first day I got his vibe, I realized I don't really like him, but, you know, I'm going to give him a chance here because I don't know him not to like him, right? So the second day, I remember he come in the cell, we come back from dinner, it's late in the afternoon. And I was like, let me ask you a question, right? Like, what's up? I'm like, bro, what you locked up for? Like, I just can't understand why you in here. And he was like, he was locked up for arson. So I'm like, arson? He like, yeah. I'm like, what you set on fire? He was like, I caught my girl cheating, and I set the townhouse on, the trailer on fire. I'm like, all right, like I can go for that because like the way you're explaining this with the detail, I'm like, all right, I can go for that. You know what I'm saying? So maybe a day or two go by, and I'm talking to a person that my guy, we chopping it up, and I'm like, yeah, you know, dude got a wild jump. He like, what you mean? I'm like, he got an arson jump. Like, he set the house on fire because he caught his girl messing with somebody, and he set the house on fire while he was in there. So he like, for real? I'm like, yeah. He like, nah, bro. Nah. He like, bro, my people know dude, like they from the same little county. So my dude raped the little girl. When he say it, a wave of anger come over me, but it wasn't a normal anger. It was an anger where, like, my niece popped up in my head. And at this time, I only got one niece. Know what I'm saying? So, she popped up in my head. I'm like, what? he like, yeah, dude did something to a little girl. I'm talking about immediately, I spin. Go upstairs to my cell, he laying down in the bed. So I go in the cell, wait till the door closes, and I take a shirt and put it over the window so nobody can't see in the cell. So I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? He wake up, look at him like, well, he's like, what's going on? So I'm like, bro, you got a rape charge, bro? So he looking at me like, huh? The fact that he didn't automatically shut it down, like, what you talking about? Like, nah. I pretty much knew it was true. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, do you got a rape charge? So he looking at me. He ain't saying nothing. You know, I'm young at this time, and my mind frame is pure aggression. So I smack him. Boom! That wakes him up. Know what I'm saying? Now he up. He grab his face. He like, please, like, please. I'm like, please? I said, man, what you do to that little girl? Like, what you do? Know what I'm saying? He was so scared. And I mean, literally, he pissed himself. Like, right there in his bed, he pissed. So, I'm looking at him, though, with an anger so deep, bro. I'm like, man, you told me arson. Boom! I smack him again. Know what I'm saying? When I don't know he urinated yet. When he moved, we got gray sweatpants. When I smack him, he go down and come back up. When he come back up, like the sheet moves. And I can see the pants wet. I'm like, you pissing. Man, get out my cell, bro. You got like 30 seconds to get out my cell. I don't care what you tell the police. Tell them a family member died. Tell them whatever you got to tell them. You cannot be in my cell, bro. He got up, pressed the button. It's buttons in the cell for emergencies. Pressed the button, asked him, can he speak to an officer ASAP? He spoke to the officer. He told him what he told him. They packed the stuff up. And I guess he didn't tell him that I had put my hands on him for real because they didn't never come take me to the hole. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude really urinated himself, man, over that situation, man.
And this is you still 17 at this time.
Yeah, I was 17.
This still the same within the first year with it. I should say the first year you being locked up. So then, what was you didn't do this? You ain't do this for. I don't want to sound like I'm glorifying anything at no point, but you ain't do this for nothing just because of how it morally made you feel. But what was the reaction when everybody found out this is how you know?
It breeded a certain respect. You know when you're in prison and you operate with a respect of authority, like when you got respect for the principles and morals that come with an individual that claim he's from the street environment. When you hold on to them principles and morals, it comes with a certain respect in prison, right? A lot of people live a certain way out here, then they get in prison and they alter their principles and morals. You know, they lower them a lot. They willing to accept anything. I wasn't one of them people. Like, from the jump, I set the tone because I knew this is where I would be. Like the moment I walked into that prison, my very first day in prison, the very first day I walked into prison, I knew I would live there for the next 2 decades. So I had to set the tone. I had no choice. They literally put me in a box. I got no choice but to set the tone. And what I mean by the tone, set the example. I wanted everybody to know I'm not the one. Do not come play with me.